Hey guys, back in with a few more sets. This is the last one before I hit 20. I wanted to wait a bit because the early season's not very high quality. You can see I've won 113 out of my 194 matches, so I've definitely been losing, but still maintaining a well above 50% win rate, which means I'm not yet at my final rank. But anyway, here's the last sort of rank reveal video, if you will, because after this set, I will go up to level 20. So we have a Deoxys mirror here. And Deoxys mirrors are won and lost by CMP tie. It is possible that if you have a really poor IV Deoxys, you just die to counters. But in this case, we're close enough to full 1500 Deoxys. So what I'm really curious about is, am I going to win or lose CMP tie? You can see there he decided not to reveal it to me on that one because he did not lose CMP tie to me. He actually threw Thunderbolt one counter later, so it didn't tie. But in the second one, we throw at the same time, and I go first, so I know now I'm going to win CMP tie. And so this means that if I just stay in and I throw, what do you call it, Psycho Boost as soon as I can, I would have won that matchup. And he knows that too, so he immediately swaps into Lickitung. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. Lickitung is one of the Pokemon that actually beats all three of my Pokemon. So as soon as I see Lickitung, I know I have to take him out by committee. So I'm going to go into Walrein here, just because he's slightly less bad against Lickitung than Sableye is, especially when shields are up. I got baited on the first one. He definitely had enough energy for Power Whip, and I was like, okay, I better shield it, but he baited me with Body Slam. And now I know for sure the second charge move is Power Whip, so I have to double shield this. I'm going to try and see if I can just get away with farming him down in the last little bit, but I underestimate how fast Body Slam charges, and I get hit by another Body Slam. So this is not a good start. At this point, I'm really just hoping and praying the last Pokemon is something like Medicham, and I see actually it's Obstagoon, which both my remaining Pokemon are bad against. I figure let's just try and fight him, but then he actually catches my second Bicycle Spear on his Deoxys. And so now I'm Obstagoon against Sableye, and he has a shield advantage, so I'm pretty screwed. I kind of wanted to see if it's possible for me to bait him successfully and get off a return. Just because I haven't actually played this matchup out a lot. I know that I definitely lose it, but I was hoping I could get to a point where I could catch something on Walrein and get the second return off, but wasn't able to because it wasn't nearly long enough for the switch timer to come back. So now I just know that for the future that if that ever happens to me again, I'm just going to leave. I'm not too bummed out about that loss because I'm pretty sure I just lost that on picks. No matter what I did in that situation, I would have lost. Even if I'd gone to Sableye right away, he would have just countered immediately with Obstagoon. So there was absolutely no way for me to win that match. So I'm not going to get too upset about it. I am gifted a pretty hard lead win with a Bastiodon versus DeoxysDefence lead. He immediately swaps into Shadow Retrieval here. So I throw a Psycho Boost, leave, and swap into Sableye. He double shields, so he maintains priority, but that's okay. So I send out Walrein here because I want to take him out with only basics. And I think no matter what, I would have wanted to shield the next move, the charge move anyway, because Shadow Retrieval's attack is so high. The other thing that I wanted to do was to be able to get an Earthquake off on this Bastiodon, because I knew he was coming in soon. And I do get one off, and then I swap it into Deoxys. At this point, remember, I don't know what his last Pokemon is. I'm hoping that it's not Medicham, but it is Medicham. And so on hindsight, I probably should have shielded that Stone Edge just to be a little safer. But we're going to see if we can make this work. So whether or not I win this fight is very much going to be based on IVs and how he manages his energy. If he manages his energy perfectly, I actually will definitely lose. But I'm going to try and bait him in to trying to over shield on me or over farm on me, and he does. So he lets me get to a second Psycho Boost, and this lets me win this matchup. And then I come back in with Bastiodon, and I get to a Icicle Spear before he gets to kill me, and by the skin of my teeth, I win the second match. Sorry, I'm gonna go mute my Slack here. Alrighty. Okay, third match of the day. So first match is a hard loss on picks. Second match was a lead win that I secured, but perhaps not as well as I could have. Third match is an Azumarill, and you might think, well, Fairy's a resisting counter, this is not good for Deoxys. But Deoxys has Thunderbolt, which is obviously super effective against water types. We'll see if he puts the shield up here. As I recall, he does not. And so this immediately puts me into a pretty good position. If everyone just stays in and uses even shields, Deoxys actually does beat Azumarill against something that Medicham cannot do. So we're going to see if he's going to shield the second Thunderbolt. Almost missed one of the things there. And he doesn't. So I also noticed here that he's got Play Rough and not Hydro Pump. I shielded the first one because I thought it might be Hydro Pump. And he actually hands me Switch Advantage by going to Whiscash, which means I get to throw Psycho Boost and leave. One of my favorite things to do, as you guys know. I'm going to Walrein here instead of going to Sableye because it just simplifies this matchup. Whiscash can only throw a Mud Bomb. His other move is Blizzard, which is obviously double resisted by Walrein, so he's not going to throw that. So this is just like a very chill, it doesn't matter what anyone does, the outcome is going to be the same as long as we spend even shields. And for me, that's good because it lowers my blood pressure. I get baited here. So I'm like, crap. And you know that your ranking is going up when people pull off stuff like this, which is okay, I'm going to CMP tie you on the last one, bait you into overshielding, or bait into overfarming, and then, throw another one. And not only that, he actually ended up catching my async Icicle Spear on Azumarill, which is great. And anyway, so this is his Hisuian Electrode. He had to shield the first Icicle Spear because it would have been super effective. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to CMP tie him and lose it after he throws the first Wild Charge because he needs to get 2 to actually kill me. And if I do that, I know I actually lose CMP to his Hisuian Electrode, so I'll take the damage and then I'll throw a charge move at him after the defense drop and it will one-shot him. So I had to do that counting carefully, but it did work out. And then I'm able to get to my second foul play before Whiscash gets to Mud Bomb, and I win this match with 3 Pokemon still alive. So it may not have been entirely necessary to catch or to throw foul play after a Wild Charge, but it is something that came to mind. And someone was able to execute, so that definitely secured the win. All right, Whimsicott is such a core breaker right now. I think probably one of the most underrated Pokemon in the meta. You can see here that no matter what I bring in against Whimsicott, there's something that's not going to be any good. So I throw Psycho Boost and leave to try and get some additional value, and I swap into a Dark type, and he swaps out of the Dark type. And that was not a sure thing. Some players would stay in there because they know obviously that Fairies beat Darks, but he also knows that it might actually be better to swap anyway because you can maintain the matchup against Deoxys because maybe you think your Pokemon in the back are not good against Deoxys. So against Shadow Quagsire, I am able to, I think, win this and have enough energy for one little foul play to throw at the end. So it's another Lantern. So this one is kind of slightly annoying because he's still got a shield advantage. So I'm gonna have to pull something here. What am I doing here? Can't remember how I played this. I think I'm gonna go for some kind of double Psycho Boost so I can get past the wall. That's right. He swaps back to Whimsicott, which gives me another opportunity to do my favorite tactic, which is throw Psycho Boost and leave. Now he's up against my Walrein. Walrein cannot be one-shot by Lantern's Thunderbolt. It's not powerful enough. Walrein's too bulky. And so even though he calls my bait there, it doesn't really matter because I can just throw another one, get him pretty low, and my Deoxys in the back actually still has enough energy to get to Psycho Boost pretty quickly and seal the deal. So Whimsicott, I think, is probably the most underrated grass type in the meta right now. I think after the Trevenant nerf, people were like, oh, what do I do about grass types? You have several options. I think Meganium is an option, Shadow Venusaur is an option, Shadow Victreebel is an option, and Whimsicott is probably, I think, the best utility player. The rest seem a little bit more specialized. So a light lead win here with Dewgong. He goes into Venusaur, into regular Venusaur, which is actually, I think, less than ideal. I get to throw, again, Psycho Boost and leave, and then I'm going to bring in Walrein. Now that I have the shield advantage, I know with near 100% certainty that I'm going to win this matchup despite being weak to Frenzy Plant because I can just shield it. And even if he spends shields, even if I end up with no shields after this, I'm definitely going to have the switch advantage. And I should have either a decent amount of HP or a decent amount of energy left over. In this case, I have a decent amount of HP left over. And he did CMP timing there, so if I'd been counting more carefully, I could probably have farmed him a little bit more after this, but it doesn't really matter that much. So Venusaur's out with the second Icicle Spear. Now comes Medicham, which is a bummer. He actually swaps out, which is interesting. I think he was expecting me to throw Icicle Spear at Medicham, and he was trying to catch it on Dewgong. But I was actually going to go for Earthquake to begin with, so I didn't do that. And now I get to line Deoxys back out with Dewgong. Now Dewgong is pretty bulky, pretty high stat product, more than Walrein, certainly more than Alolan Sandslash. And more than Alolan Ninetales as well. So you kind of have to take them seriously, even if you have the type advantage like I do here. You can see he gets Deoxys pretty dang low. And still, though, I have a Walrein full of energy with Earthquake, and then I have a Sableye in the back. Sableye alone could have beaten Medicham, but just to make the game go a bit faster, I decided to throw that Earthquake. So yeah, that one was helpful. It was a lead win, but one that I secured better. So 4 out of 5. We can see if there's a way for me to get some additional XL candy for some of these very PvP relevant Pokemon. Unfortunately, I miss my excellent throw. By the way, right now if you trade stuff, you get bonus XL. So if you have a friend to trade with, definitely keep your Pokemon. Oh man, here Far cannot throw Pokeballs. Yeah, no excellent throws for me. But yeah, hang on to your Pokemon that you think are PvP relevant, even if the IVs are bad. That one's actually pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what rank it is, but for Medicham, you kind of want an attack IV around 10 and like high defense and HP IVs, so that's probably a pretty high rank Medicham. I'll check it out later. If it's better than the one that I have, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'll just trade it away for XL candy. But yeah. So then 3 out of the 4 Pokemon I would say are pretty PvP relevant, maybe even all 4, depending on how you think about it. Brings me up to level 20, and my rating is 2230.